We're going to move on into some really fun draft prop bets. So, in part like anything big, draft, Super Bowls, just playoffs or the season in general, prop bets are always a whole hell of a lot of fun to bet on because there's not like a whole bunch of seriousness going into it. A little more understand, and it's a little more fun just because, I don't know, it's a lot harder to really tell what the hell's going to happen, so it's more of a crapshoot. And crapshoots are fun. But the first prop bet I want to put out there is that over 5.5 quarterbacks are taken in the first round. This is currently at plus 375 on the betting odds.
I love this bet because just like I said, we already know 5 is going to happen between picks number, and I think a lot of those top 5 quarterbacks, if not all of them, are going to be in the top 10. So, but for 22 picks, you have the chance of getting one quarterback. That's to me that's a fun kind of bet where it's like you're already at the point now you just need one more and you're gonna have 2 hours sitting on it talking about like you're gonna listen to Mel Kiper, you're gonna listen to all the guys doing the draft coverage. Like anytime you hear a quarterback, you're like, oh, this could be the one that gets me over. And with the whole contracts thing, and how many times in the last 3 years compared to the previous 10 years have we heard about the damn salary cap? Everyone talks about the salary cap now. It's a huge thing. So
us included. I am a huge problem with talking about the salary cap. Admittedly.
Yeah, it's annoying to talk about, but everyone talks about it now because it's kind of mainstream. So everyone is jockeying for these advantageous contract positions and contract spots to put themselves in. So going back into the first round, like did the Ravens trade up for Lamar or did they?
They stayed. They stayed.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you see teams that are more willing to take, and the Chiefs did this last year with Clyde too. They want those skill position players that get significantly more expensive in their second contract. They want an extra year of cheap labor from them, and so teams will do anything they can to get that quarterback on the extra year of control and on an extra year of cheaper than $30 million a year salary. So I think this is I think this should be more towards like plus 150, 175, but at plus 375 that is value and a half. I would smash this one.
Man, this is plus 375 right now. I might have to get started on a little DraftKings account, man, because if I throw $20 on this, I think I have a really good chance of making some money on draft night. Because if you run through just the top 5 quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson are guaranteed to be drafted 1 and 2. 99.9999, whoever the hell you want to call it, they're going to be drafted 1 and 2. Justin Fields, he's going to be taken in the first round. Trey Lance, he's going to be taken in the first round. Mac Jones probably going to be taken number 3 overall. So you already got your 5 quarterbacks right there. I would say probably in the first 7 to 9 draft picks. I don't even think it makes it the Cowboys' 10th that we get to see these 5 quarterbacks go off the board. And then the last couple ones, you have Kyle Trask, like we mentioned. The Saints, really interested in Kyle Trask at 28 right there. But another quarterback that might not be talked about, it's probably because he's a second-round talent at best, but Stanford's Davis Mills is also pretty high up on the quarterback tier. He's almost even with Kyle Trask. I think a lot of people might have gone a little sour on Kyle Trask from that god-awful Cotton Bowl performance that really just wasn't his fault. And I really didn't want to put too much weight into that game anyway because, he looked fantastic through most of the season. He has one bad game against a solid opponent and his team. The Florida kind of craps the bed on their own, so he was kind of left out there hanging to dry.
And Pitts didn't even play in that game, too.
Exactly. Arguably the best receiving talent in the draft didn't play in that game, so that's going to hurt you a little bit. But I still like what Kyle Trask can do. He's a second-round caliber quarterback. He's a second-round talent, but at the same time, he's probably... Alex, come on. How many times... If I had nickel for every time a second-round talent got taken in the first round, a third-round talent got taken in the second round, hell, sometimes even the first round, I would be a rich man at this point, and I would be owning one of these teams that is partaking in the NFL draft. So, Kyle Trask probably goes in the first round. I do like that move to the Saints because, honestly, I don't really know what else the Saints are going to do right now, maybe besides defense. I like them getting possibly quarterback in the future, especially if they've been this hot and have been doing this much research and studying on Kyle Trask. So, I like this bet. I'm going to take this bet all day, taking the over on 5.5 quarterbacks taken in the first round. The other one is one that might be a little bit less likely to take, but surprisingly comes at closer to even odds, and that is that Travis Etienne is going to be the first running back taken off the board.
I'm going to take a deep breath on this one. And also just for the just to put it in layman's terms, when we say plus 175 or plus 375 or plus 160, all that means is on a $100 bet, the payout is 160. So it's
Thank you. Yeah.
60, that much more likely to happen. If you have a minus 200, you're betting 100 to win 50. So it's same thing. Everything's based around 100. But there's absolutely no chance this happens. There's literally, I'm not going to say literally, but I think these two odds should flip. I think Travis Etienne to be the first running back taken should be like plus 500, and over 5.5 should be like plus 150. So I would almost go the other way and say Travis Etienne is not the first running back taken at minus 200 and hammer that one, because I think Najee Harris is a significantly better prospect than Travis Etienne. Etienne catches the ball a little better, but that's kind of why Najee Harris went back last year. There was a much better draft or running back class last year than it was this year, and I think Najee would have had a little more competition to be one of the top running backs taken, but he went back to college to show he could catch the ball, and Najee put up some really, really good receiving stats, which I'm going to pull up right now. But he showed that he had that ability, and he showed that aspect of his game, and he showed that he can be a 3-year running back. And so here's in 2020 last year. So he went from 27 catches for 304 in 2019 to 43 catches for 425. So he showed that he has the volume. He can run multiple routes out of the backfield. We already know he's an incredible runner, and he kept even with the increased volume, he increased his average output from 1,500 yards in 2019 to almost 1,900 yards in 2020. So he in the same amount of games too. So his just average per game went significantly up. So I don't see any way this happens. I would be shocked if Etienne was the first running back off the board, and I would not feel good about myself if I advise you to go a different way.
So you kind of got to look at team needs in this one. There's two teams that really stand out in the first round that are going to take a running back, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and especially after losing James Conner, and that is the Buffalo Bills, who could have been a much better team if they actually had a legitimate run game and weren't really relying on Josh Allen to pick up most of their rushing yardage. So a running back would really set these teams over the edge. At least it'll set the Bills over the edge. For the Steelers, it'll just really help with them, and it'll help a really aging and struggling quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger, because God bless you if you have to rely on the arm of Big Ben to win you football games. That's not the move at this point. Maybe 5-6 years ago, maybe. Modern day, hell no. So right now, Pittsburgh has the number 24 overall pick. The Buffalo has the 30th overall pick. These two running backs, Najee Harris and Travis Etienne, are going to be taken to one of these two teams. I'd be more than willing to bet on this. And then so you kind of got to look at this. Fit a team's needs. Going to what the Steelers have had since they're the first pick out of these two teams. They've had a Le'Veon Bell, and they've had a James Conner. Two guys that aren't really... I think they're closer to the mold of Travis Etienne than they are Najee Harris. Najee Harris closer to a Derrick Henry, with that Alabama pedigree, with guys that are good. Mostly, they're really good.
Derrick Henry would never have 43 catches in the college season, Ross Allen.
He's closer. Don't call me... He's no Derrick Henry. He's closer than what Travis Etienne is what I'm saying. It's more. He's closer. No, hell no. Imagine if Derrick Henry could catch 10 passes a game. It'd be out in space.
It'd be insane. Yeah.
Cheat code. Literally, the greatest player to ever grace the gridiron is what that would be. Even if you could just get 5. Oh my. Derrick Henry on a swing route. Imagine trying to tackle him in the open field when he has a headless team. I'd rather just, dig my own grave before he gets there.
Yeah, I'm not.
And then with the Steelers, do we really trust them as an organization? I trust the Bills as an organization. After what they've done with Big Ben and what they've done with Mike Tomlin, I don't trust them, Alex. That's why I'm cool with this bet. Travis Etienne to the Steelers. He's the first one off the board. Now, I'm not saying it's the best pick, but I'm saying that it's more than likely going to happen. I like this, mostly for a lack of confidence in Steelers. Take that. Is that more of a dig? Is that more of a praise for Travis Etienne? More of a dig at the Steelers? You decide down in the comments. The other one is that Kyle Pitts will be taken after the 5th overall pick. So he's either going to be 6 or above. This is at plus 140. And there's no way he makes it past Atlanta. There's no way in hell, quite frankly.
No, this is a horrible bet. Take the under and take it every day of the week, because if the Falcons don't draft him, the Bengals definitely will, because the Bengals are looking at adding an offensive weapon. Mm-hmm. And the best offensive weapon in this draft is Kyle Pitts, hands down. So even if they are talking about Jamar Chase and Jamar Chase is the pick, if Kyle Pitts is on the board there, they're taking Kyle Pitts. Yeah. And I would be very confident in the fact that I think there's about 80% chance that Atlanta takes Pitts. And then I think there's, maybe a 25% chance that if Pitts doesn't go at 4, he goes at 5. Mm-hmm. So you take those two odds and you say, I'm pretty confident that Kyle Pitts is going under 5.5 draft position. So I do not like this bet at all. I would definitely go the other way and go under 5.5 on Kyle Pitts. Even if it's juiced, even if it's got not great return on it, I still think Kyle Pitts is so freaking talented that he's going in the top 5.
Yeah, I really don't see this going any other way, quite frankly. The other one is that while the Carolina Panthers, we mentioned them earlier, they trade away Teddy Bridgewater. Now they really only have Sam Darnold and also MVPJ Tucker on that team, or MVPJ Walker, XFL great, all-time Houston Roughnecks legend, uncrowned XFL champions.
Undefeated.
I can go on and on about the best team in XFL history, but we'll stick with the NFL and wait till 2022 once the XFL hopefully returns. But this next bet is that the Panthers, their first pick in number 8 overall, is going to be a quarterback. Odds at plus 425, and I think there's a lot of truth to this. There's a number of things that the Panthers could do, whether it be on defense, whether it be taking one of the higher offensive line prospects to help shore it up and help to actually build around Sam Darnold, which is what it seems like they might try to do. So I wouldn't really put it past them. But at the same time, do we really think Sam Darnold's going to be the option long term? If you're me, hell no, you don't, because that ship has sailed. Sam Darnold has sailed ever since he was drafted by the Jets. They immediately ruined him as soon as they touched him. But I like Carolina. I like Carolina 8. You can still get a good quarterback in number 8, especially depending on what happens with the first 3 picks. Hell, Trey Lance might be able to fall to number 8. So I do like this as a good prop bet.
Yeah, I mean, I think just like I think all quarterback bets and all the bets right now that involve some sort of quarterback action, taking it, not taking them, how many quarterbacks, where is this person going to go? I always lean towards the quarterback is the most important position on the field by far. Mm-hmm. So teams are just more likely, more willing to go above and beyond to get that quarterback. So the Panthers taking a quarterback at the first pick, given the fact that Bridgewater's gone, given the fact that even though they got Sam Darnold, they didn't invest a ton. I think plus 425 is incredible value. This should be closer to 200, 250. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think all that we've talked about is Sam Darnold is most likely not your long-term answer there. So why wouldn't the Panthers, if the position, if someone if Fields or Lance fell to them at mm-hmm. 8, they would be kicking themselves if they watched that player be Patrick Mahomes for the next 10 years. Right. So they're just going to do whatever they can to make sure that their 5-10-year plan is secure, and the only way to do that is with the quarterback. So if one of those guys falls to them at 8, they're probably going to take a quarterback.
You have to at that point. And then that kind of ties into the last prop bet that I'm going to give you guys is that Trey Lance, his draft position is going to be over 6.5. This with a plus 115 bet. And this would not surprise me in the slightest, because especially depending on if the Niners pass on Trey Lance at number 3, there's a fantastic opportunity that Trey Lance kind of gets closer to that kind of 10th spot in the draft. So over 6.5, I think the really only bet here is you're betting if the Niners are going to take Mac Jones or Trey Lance. If you think they're going to take Mac Jones, I think you take this bet.
Yeah, I think this is a good bet as well. The only thing that concerns me is 4. But I think did you see by any chance what Fields' number was?
No, this is just I didn't get Fields' number.
I think
it's going to be something. It's something closer to this. So it's
around like 7.5 or 8.5 or something like that. So if I would say this: if both of Trey Lance and Justin Fields have a number that's under 7.5, like either 6.5, 7, 7.5. If it starts to get to 8, where the Broncos are taking him, I would say this is not a good strategy. But I would say if both of them are plus money, you put money on both of them, because one of the two is going to fall to the Broncos and pass the Broncos potentially. So right now, from an evaluation standpoint, I think every single team is all over the place on these 4 guys or these 5 guys. And so unless you think you're a talented GM and a talented film evaluator and can, match these guys up to the teams that they want, I think that's just a crapshoot. So you almost have to play the odds, and the fact that one of Trey Lance or Justin Fields is going to drop past 7 and to 8 to 9 to 10. So if you put these two together and you make that bet in conjunction with each other, the only thing that screws you is the Niners not taking Mac Jones and someone trading up to 4 to grab the other quarterback. So I think the only thing that trips me up with Lance, doing this with Lance over Fields, is there's still a chance that Lance gets taken at 3. And with Fields, I don't think there's that chance. So if Fields' number is completely different than Lance's, then that's a different story. But if they're both around this 6.5, 7.5 number, I think you take them both over and you pray that one of them falls.
And now if you really just want to make a boatload of money, what you do is you make a absolutely gnarly parlay, and you do all 5 of these, and you take the betting odds on every single one of these, because that would rack you up some serious cash if you take.
Except Travis Etienne one.
No, even that one that'll get you.
No,
well, I guess if you want
to
be safe, you take the favorite on that one. I don't know. Maybe you leave that one, but with these, if you take the 4. You might be racking in a serious amount of cash. Let me tell you that much.